Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir. So let's start our session. I think people
Sure.
have joined. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our Instagram live session. And here we have Mr. Arijit Chakravarti. And here he's a renowned artist and photographer. And I am Ankita, editor of Right of It. So, as we know that our topic revolves around the path-breaking career options, and as Mr. Arijit has proved it, and he's a live example of that. So here we are to discuss how we as individuals are with some passion for arts, musics, and all the other unconventional fields as such, we have several other career options to go for, and there is not only a hard and fast rule that we have to go for either medicine or engineering or anything. So, yeah, let us just start. Hello, sir. Do you have anything to share to our audience?
Hi. I am Oriji Chakravorty. I'm an artist and a photographer. Am I audible? Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good. I am Oriji Chakravorty. I am a photographer and an artist. I work in Calcutta and Delhi as well, both the cities. And it's a privilege to be on a platform like this and share my experience. So thank you so much, right to bed. Thank you so much, Ankita and Rohit, for making this happen. Looking forward to the session.
Yes. So let me start with the first and a very basic question that what inspired you to take up this path of, photography and how did you, what came to your mind before, going for this, like going straight away into this line and not choosing any conventional career path as such? How did you overcome your doubts and concerns?
Oh, I still have doubts about things, you know. So it's, you, if you are an artist and especially if you live in a country like ours, then you'll always have a doubt, self-doubt, doubt from different things that is it a dream or am I still in some kind of matrix kind of situation where things are going to happen again and again with me because I was born in a family of doctors, lawyers, engineers. So what happened is, since childhood, I am not the only one in the family who has this trait of being creative, painting, sketching, or writing. So but most of my siblings, my cousins and my other siblings, they did not have mm, that urge to pursue it. But whenever I expressed my urge of continuing arts education, my parents and my other family members they discouraged me, saying that you will just roam around and you will be like a vagabond on the street. You'll not earn anything. And especially my father is a doctor. My parents are doctors, so my father is his profession had made him came into contact with artists because he worked with the police. He's a forensic expert. So back then they had all this post of a position in a hospital or a police academy and police station of artists. So temporary post or whatever it was there. So they recruited artists in there. So those arts, those people, those artists were very dearly paid, very they were like but later half when the computer and photography it came into existence their importance went down, so they had no choice but to pay, put them on a temporary payroll, and gradually that post faded out. So artists have always been in a position where they were the victims of society's what should I say, when there is a there has to be some cost cutting, something has to be done. So art is the sector where we can cut the cost. like a school like I recently heard this, like a school like La Martiniers lost their art teacher, and for 2 years they did without them. So it's not the fault of the school. It's not the fault of the people who are running the school. It's the fault of the system. It's a system that is running in the entire world, that where we do not value art or artists as much as we value a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, even, or a soldier. Everybody is required. I mean, in a society we live, where we have to have everything. So when I grew up, I never had any kind of, apart from sending me to local art teacher, and luckily it was my sheer luck that I got somebody who was a Dhaka art college pass out. Because of his bad fortune, he was here during the 71 war. He had to cross the borders. He had to come here, but he did not get a job because of all these complications of the degree certificates and all this. So he was my first proper art teacher who taught me things and all. And then gradually I learned many things. I went to different institutes. I learned many things in my life. But then that story is different. But so far, my family is concerned. When I was a kid, till I was in college, I had no support from them regarding art and culture. I was in a band. I was a drummer. Our band was one of the most popular bands in Calcutta. So I played there. And we released an album. That the band released only one album in 2005. The album was recorded in 2004. I was the drummer who recorded with the band, and until 2013, 14, my parents did not know that that kind of album actually exists. And I worked in an album which was recorded in Usha Uthup studio. I mean, most of our audience know the name Usha Uthup. She's a singer. She used to be a jazz singer. She's one of the most prominent voices in Indian history of singing and music. So I was privileged. So this is the thing. I mean, but the thing is, when your family does not know or does not support you, the only thing to do is to continue your journey. I mean, not everyone is as privileged as I am. Thankfully, I was not born in a family where I had to take care of my parents after my school, or I had to leave study. So in that way, I'm thankful. But uh, apart from that, until and unless I proved myself or I stated my condition to my parents directly and they understood. I mean, that was like long time. After a long time, after I had a corporate stint of about 4 5 years, they had to understand that this thing is not for me, and you know, the inevitable happened. I kind of quit my before my company kicked me out. I confronted my boss and I said that, boss, this is not happening. You also know, I also know. So let's call it a quits. Before you kick me out, I'm resigning. So let's get out with the honor. So I did that, and then started my photography career gradually. And I did not do any kind of art, anything, because I don't know. Probably I'm not a therapist. I don't know about all these things, why it happens and what happens and all. But then I kind of somehow analyzed my own behavior, because I was very angry with my own parents and my family and everyone, because they did not support me. So I stopped painting completely. I mean, after my high school, my college, I stopped painting, sketching, everything. I just hated myself, and I never uh, brought myself to do anything. So even my then girlfriend, now wife, she also insisted that why don't you start painting and all. I never, you know, that those words fallen into deaf ears. I never accepted that. No, no, I should start. Yeah, I should start, and I should not be wasting my talent. But after many years, I mean, I was doing designs and all. Apart from photography, I used to design things for clients and all, logo design and blah blah blah, whatever it is. But on computer software, not on pen and paper. So after a long time, I started with pen and paper, and people liked it. So I, kind of started it professionally, and the journey was not easy, but when I thought of myself, I think that's the time when it was all clear that, if I want it, if I, so it's always the I, so it's always you. I mean, that's I realized that, everybody will tell you many things. So, but then you as a person have to be uh, someone who has to take charge. So I think that's the thing.
Like you said, like it has been a very, very interesting journey full of ups and downs, and like you call yourself that you have been kind of privileged in the sense that you could make that choice for yourself that yes, I want to pursue this career path. And even today I feel that many people do not have that choice. They do not know how to convince their parents. Like even there are people that I know who want to pursue something else and are doing something else, and just because of one thing that no, I cannot convince my parents. So what do you think is the right way, to talk to your parents, to make them understand, to gain some support from them?
Uh, I think there is no one button for this, that, or one rule for this. Like, if you write this code and this entire program will work, it's not like that. But I think sometimes, you before you convince anybody else, you have to convince yourself. So yeah, I mean, Rohit was talking about this movies, Tare Zameen Par, Three Idiots, and all this stuff. So, see, these are inspiring movies, of course, but
Yeah.
then our life is not movies. I mean, it doesn't happen so easily. So, Farhan's father was convinced just in a day or two or something like that,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
immediately he decided to return the laptop and buy a camera or something like that. And then that easily Farhan had got an internship with some wildlife photographer, one of the best, one of the biggest wildlife photographer in the world. But let me tell you, I was trained in an international photography college, and it was very tough for me to get in there. Not because of how they interview candidates, but because of the cost. Because art education still in the world is one of the most costly things. We that's way that in that way we Indians are very privileged. I will tell you, because we have government colleges, and there, if you can crack the entrance exam, you do not have to spend a lot of money. But in Europe and US, uh, you literally cannot think about it. Just to make my point, in 2010, when I was looking for colleges inside and outside India, so I applied to Brooks Institute, Hallmark Academy, uh, San Francisco Academy of Arts, and London College of Photography, or something like that, London Institute of Photography or something. So I cracked almost all of them. Hallmark sent me a scholarship as well, but I could not join because the cost was really very high. So Brooks Institute, which is now no more, it's been shut down a few years back. Brooks Institute at that time gave me an estimation for 2 years course. They gave me an estimation of 1 crore 20 lakh for tuition fees. 1 crore. Please
That's pretty
think about
huge.
it. Yeah. So even if you are wanting to study engineering in US or MBA, you don't have to spend that much. So I could not believe, and probably I was counting the zeros less. So I was like, 10 lakhs? No. What is that? 1 crore. Okay. So, so there, we are privileged in that sense. So when you look out, when you go out, please first convince yourself that what you want to do. A lot of people see a lot of things. They actually do not know their skill set, or they do not know what they want to do.
Mm.
So there have been a lot of youngsters, school students. They came to me in Calcutta and Delhi, and where we met, I and Rohit and I met in Delhi. That's a travelers hostel. So there were a lot of students also. They randomly came to me after they realized that I'm an artist or a photographer or whatever, and they were like, how can we, and can I pursue this? I paint and I sketch, and can I be an animator? So if you want, you can become anything, because my mantra in life is your I can is more important than your I feel. But the thing is, you have to self-analyze that what I'm good at. Have I done this before? And you just have to do it. So instead of jumping into any conclusion, just go to your parents and tell them that, see, I think I am good. Uh, I am good in this. I'm good at this. I want to do this. So it can be anything. It can be fine art, music, performance, acting, and if you are good in this, and if you have a track record, like if you have done similar things in school, like I was pushed to learn singing. So for 8 years, I learned Hindustani classical and all. So every year, every time there is some performance, some event in school, I was taken for granted. Like I was a free singer for the school. So I was like, Arijit will do it, that kind of stuff. So I have done it. So there is a track record. So everybody thought that no, if nothing happens, he can become a singer. He's a great voice. He sings very well. He won awards and all. But the thing is, I did not want to do it. So it's like that. So just because you are good in maths doesn't mean that you have to be an engineer. You can be a math professor. You can be a philosopher. You can be anything. So you have to show your track record to your parents that, see, I have done this consistently, so why don't you let me try something in a small scale? So apart from your studies, you do that, you invest your time there. And so I think this is how, and every family works differently, so there is no one short rule or one rule for everyone kind of stuff. So you just have to understand what your parents' temperaments are and how you can convince them. And lastly, I would say there are students with me who are learning from me right now. So one student is there, and the lady is persistent. She wanted to be an artist. She wanted to learn, and she had been waiting for her time to devote a time in art. So she first got herself, because she did not have any support from the family. Her father did not like it, but she is very persistent. She is a headstrong woman. So she got herself educated. She got a job, and she also loves her job. So that's not a thing. So she now pursues art. She's taking art classes from me. She's doing a fantastic thing. So I would say that there is no rule. You just have to understand that what you want, and the most important part is you should be convinced yourself. If you're not convinced, you cannot convince the other person. So the same rule goes for us also. When I'm working on some painting, some portrait, some artwork, if I don't like it, I cannot convince the other person that it's good, or I'm sure the other person will feel the same the way I feel it. So I first have to love my work. I first have to have confidence in myself, and I first have to know my career path, that this is exactly what I want to do. And last part is commercials. So let me tell you something. Uh, World of art is very volatile, and it's changing very fast today because of the introduction of a lot of new things. Digital is a platform where there is a revolution happening. So if you enter digital without knowing the traditional methods, without knowing the traditional art form, you will be in an utter mess. So people who think that I do a lot of, I've done a lot of good sketches in Photoshop and Procreate and all this stuff. My father has given me an, iPad, and I know how to paint and sketch and all this stuff. But then it did not come from there. What if suddenly, after 2 years, everything shuts down? Because when everything happens, people think that this is it, this is the ultimate thing. But no, in our world, in our society, in our civilization, progress is something that will happen, that will go on. So first learn from the basics, educate yourself. No profession is flimsy, paltry, and every profession needs proper training in holistic method. So if you want to become an artist, train yourself wherever it is. I'm not saying that you have to go to government college, you have to go to some private institution in Europe or somewhere. Train yourself with a good trainer, good artist, and show your parents, your guardians that this is what you can do. And that is the first step of convincing them that this is what it is. I think that's how it is.
That's a very fair point you made that first you need to know yourself that what you want, what you need, and develop your skill set accordingly. Unless and until you convince yourself, you are not in a position to convince someone else. And I think that is something that people need to understand, those who want to take up these unconventional fields per se. So, my next question to you would be that when you know that you are taking up something unconventional, that is not very much accepted in the mainstream society. So there are chances that you might face a setback. There are chances that you might have some feelings of uncertainty whether you are doing the right thing or not. And unless and until you have that one big breakthrough, you are constantly in a fight with yourself that, okay, will I be able to do it or not? Or if there are certain setbacks. So my question to you is that did you face those things as well, the failures, the insecurities, and how did you overcome that? That is the main
Yes.
part. How did you overcome that?
So you want to know my trade secret? Okay. Yeah, I do face every artist, every person. Self doubt is a very human thing. I mean, imagine yourself standing in front of a cliff, at the edge of the cliff, and it's probably 1,000 meter fall. So how do you feel? So it feels like that. So, but still, I would give you an example, a very small a contextual example. Uh, I was traveling a lot during 2018-19, and I was in 19. I just started working for a company. I shifted to Delhi. So let's start from there. I shifted to Delhi. 2017, I started going on and off to Delhi, and then 18, I shifted. And then what happened is 19, I completely took my work there. I started working with the with an institute called Delhi School of Photography, and 19, I started working with different small startups. So one of the startup was Star Outdoors. So they are an adventure sport company. Oh, sorry. Just give me a second.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sure.
yeah, I just have to shift to the side. So there's a sudden power cut. Okay. Better background view, I think.
It's like I don't have words, like it's so fine and so unreal sort of thing. I don't have much
Thank you.
understanding of arts and all, but it's like pretty amazing. The eyes, I love the eyes.
Thank you. So, cut this story short, I started working with adventure sport company, and I was trekking in North Tibba. So just after I finished the trek, I went to Rishikesh because they had some river rafting thing, bungee jumping, river rafting, all the sports happening. So they said that if we can do any of the sports, so it will be very kind and write about it. I said okay. So I selected river rafting without knowing swimming. I rafted and 30 kilometers, 29, 30 kilometers of river rafting where I hung from the boat. I jumped in the water, held the boat, and I hung from the boat for 3 kilometers, and it happened. So, the way I put it is what if I had self doubt, so I couldn't have done it. So always think about that you can do it. So that's my mantra. Your I can is more important than your IQ. Your skill it comes later. So when you start doing your work, first you have to think positive about it. You have to think that yes, I can. So building the confidence in yourself, in you, is the first step. And I have realized after working for so many years on so many different projects that confidence building is the most important and is the key thing in our profession. So when I first started shooting model portfolios back then in 2007, 8, 2008, 2008, 9, and by 2009 I was like shooting, good portfolios. People used to come for special projects to me. So the first model shoot I remember, and I was, you know, to be very honest, I was petrified. I was like, dude, this is this is really very scary. So now when I think about it, I still laugh at myself. I was like totally not confident. I was going haywire. I was trying different lighting because I knew everything. All the knowledge was there, and the moment I got hold of myself, and the moment I realized that this is nothing. This is just whatever I have learned, whatever I have taught myself to do. Exactly the same thing is happening, but live, but with a real client, not with the dummy model in our photography class. And that very moment, my attitude changed, and I got hold of myself. I was more confident. So I feel that studying oneself is the best way to remove the self doubt. And self doubt comes from, to be very honest, self doubt comes from lack of knowledge, and there are other psychological issues also, like people who have been treated badly in their childhood, or they have been repetitively traumatized by bullying, or being not shown any empathy, sympathy. Uh, those are the people who suffer from self-doubt and loss of confidence and all this stuff. So for them, my suggestion is that mental health is a big thing, because I have seen a lot of people these days are coming to art because of mental health problems.
Yeah.
They have problems of solving their own trauma. So my suggestion to everyone, whoever is dealing with art, that let yourself out. Whatever trauma, whatever bad things are inside you, just let them out. If you feel that you want to draw, you want to paint those things on canvas and paper, don't think about the society, don't think about anybody else. Please put them out. So that will be the vent for you. And once you start doing that, your artwork will speak for yourself. You will make a name for yourself. You will, create your own style, and be it whatever. I mean, even if it's a dance, it's music, it's fine art, it's cinema. Do whatever your own psyche, your own self tells you to do. And self doubt is something that it will remain. It will remain, because I've seen my father is one of the best doctors. I mean, though it's a forensic profession, he knows things, but his sister, my bua, she was 83 years old when she died last month. So she was suffering from cancer. So they had to take a decision. So my father was asking me, a non-medical person, that what should we do? And I said, and I realized that he was in self-doubt, that the decision he's taking along with his brothers, whether it's right or not. So I told him that you're a doctor, I'm a non-medical person, but if looking at her condition, I think you should let her go. And does not have any offspring. She does not have anyone to live for. She had lived her life to the fullest. She was a school teacher, so it's there till the last day of yours on this earth. You will have self doubt. You will have some confidence issues and all, but it's you who can actually change that. So get hold of yourself, because you are the most powerful person in your universe. Everybody has their own universe, own world, own bubble. So you are the most powerful person, and our universe is here, all in our mind. So in our mind, what should I say? Have you seen this movie called Tron? So
No.
Tron Legacy. Watch it.
Okay.
Or any movie, like there is this movie I forgot, like few mental patient ladies, they were put in a hospital,
Okay.
but they imagine they're ninjas. So in their imagination, they always, somebody is a sword fighter, somebody is a nunchuck fighter, somebody is a, so they are the heroes of their world. So that's how
Yeah.
we are. So you're the hero of your world, you're the heroine of your world, and you can be the most powerful person in your world so that you can cure anything. So our mind can cure any disease that we can have. You may contract. So I mean that's a saying. So that's the, sorry.
Yeah. So like you said, like we are the heroes of our own stories, and I think that's one of the most I think that's the crux of the entire thing, that unless and until we have confidence in ourselves, unless and until we have that thing in ourselves to go out and show it to the world that yes, we know who we are. It's like there's
Mhm.
no point fighting with the world or, dwelling in
Nothing.
insecurities. We have to be there for fighting for ourselves, and this our mind
Absolutely.
is what we have to have a control on. So I and I think everyone, like people at our age especially, I have seen people struggling with all these things, even though they have like very high paying jobs, and they are working and having the fun times, but yet there are certain things in their lives that have held them back, certain traumas. And as you said, that art is a very therapeutic thing as well. You just let it out and it speaks for yourself. Even if you do
Absolutely.
not feel that you have the means to speak for yourself, the art speaks for itself. So I think that's
Absolutely.
a very beautiful way that you have put that into. And so my another question to you is, as you said that you overcame these things, the insecurities, the failures in certain ways, how you in that said that you knew that okay, I know I have the knowledge and I will do it. It was in my mind, now just I have to do it. So how did you actually promote your work, and how did you did a self promotion kind of thing, because once you have a conference,
It's
you
very
can
important.
speak about your work. Yeah.
No,
And
it's
so
very
what are the
important.
platforms that you use? How did you network with people in lines like these? We usually do not, we have many people, but at the same time, people are hesitant to go and talk to people that, okay, what will this person think? And what will I think? The first question is like you said, what should I? It's not that I should, it should like, should I go and talk?
It's a
So,
doubt. It's a
yeah,
doubt.
so how
It's a
did
doubt.
yeah, so how
It's a
did
doubt.
you gain that, like the recognition that you have now? What all led to this recognition? How did you network? How did you, promoted yourself, your work, and now that you have students, like how does it feel?
Feels good.
Mhm.
Feels good. I mean, when see, I feel that appreciation is the best reward for an artist, and when somebody appreciate my work, and if I feel that it's genuine, that person is genuinely appreciating and not just appreciating to get something out of me, I feel really, I feel really satisfied. Not content, but satisfied because at the end of the day, appreciation and appreciating an artist, these things are very important for an artist's career. So unless and until you have a lot of fans, followers who are appreciative of your work, you will not feel satisfied. You may have so it's the same thing. I mean, for any work we do, we need appreciation. I mean, appreciation in terms of money is not enough. So, at times we get a lot of money, but then we have to do something which our client wants, not we want. So during those things, we just do it. It's and we generally don't show that kind of work to most people. We just like very reluctant to show, and somebody wants to see, whatever you have done on this line, in this line, what if you have done something, so we do it. And how I promote it, okay, that's very difficult to say because um, see every person is different.
Yeah.
Every individual has their own ability or skill to interact or communicate to the other person, the person next to you. So I, from my very childhood, I mean, I was a naughty kid. I was a super naughty kid, and I never had any fear, stage fright, fear, or anything. So whenever I was put on the stage, I have to do something, or you need to recite a poem. Even if I don't know, I just say some rubbish and come down. So that's there. But then when I grew up, I realized that I have this ability to go up to anyone and talk to them. So the moment I realized, I started encashing that thing since my school days. And gradually, what happened is I had developed this personality where I mean, well, this had been told to me. I did not found it out just like that. A lot of people told me that understand until uh, you have spoken to us. We were very hesitant to go and talk to you because you seemed like a person with whom not everybody can cross. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't want to give that vibe. But the thing is, on the other hand, even if a person is looking very, uptight and very, kind of a very reserved, I can go up to that person and I can strike a conversation. So because of that, I think conversing with somebody or just to uh, go on a networking circle or a networking meet, like I have attended two such networking meet in last year in Delhi, and attending those had benefited me a lot. And because I have this habit, and I can actually talk to anyone and everyone, I've made a lot of friends there. So that is helpful. But otherwise, if you are a shy person, if you are not interested in talking to any random person and all, you can always use, according to your art form and artwork, you can use a lot of platforms that we have. We have video based. I mean, video is something that divided in two things like reels and videos. We have
Yeah.
so video creator. They are using Vimeo and YouTube majorly for
Yes.
their
Yes.
promotion. Yeah, and you have Instagram. Like right now, we are on Instagram, and it's one of the very popular, one of the most important platform for artists these days. Creators. I mean, what they have termed us, our terms have changed. We are content creators. We are not artists anymore. So our designations have changed. We are content
So
creators.
it's
So
like
content creators,
just blending with the transition.
and trust me, people who had not changed themselves and upgraded themselves with the change, they had faded away, and now they're just dime a dozen.
This was
They have become
going to be
dime a
my
dozen.
Actually, this is going to my last question to you, that how important is it to, mingle with the change that is
Absolutely.
happening constantly, the new technologies that have been coming in, and how I would want to know that how did you personally, took up, like from, like you stated that I started from pen paper initially. So how was that? Like how did you mingle with the
It came
technology
naturally.
that has been coming out now?
It came naturally. I do not see only dead fish, go with the flow. So I'm
Yeah.
not a dead fish. I realize that. So I realized that, I realized another thing as well, that if I do not accept the progress, I'll be lagging behind and I'll be left out. So I
Yeah.
have accepted whatever has changed in the industry. But what I did not do is taken up everything and forgotten the previous thing. So I had made every time there is a change, there is something new coming up. I have taken the best of it and amalgamated with my previous process. So that is what I have done. And because of that, I guess I'm still using all these traditional methods, traditional process. Even photography, I use analog. I shoot on roll film. I have a dark room. Yeah, this room is also, it's my studio is also a dark room. I have enlargers and everything. So I print my own photographs from negatives. But then that's not my primary profession. That is something that I do out of love and passion. But still, there are people who give me work and large, quantity work to convert their, I mean, print from their negatives. So recently, 2 months back, I've done something. Somebody from Mumbai had given me a lot of work. I've done something similar. So progress is inevitable. It will happen. So you cannot stick to Maruti Alto or Maruti 800 even in the era of Maruti Espresso. So
Yeah.
if you, yeah, so it's a very inevitable thing. I mean, but nobody is saying that if you have a vintage Maruti 800, which was the first lot Maruti 800, and you have restored the car, and Maruti is taking interest in your car, you throw it away. No, don't do that, because everybody has their own place in your work. I mean, if you are an artist and if you have started traditional with traditional thing, now you can also do traditional, you can also do digital, and you are also into NFT. There's no harm. I mean, just think about the old movies, Hindi
Yes.
movies, where I can definitely remember one Anil Kapoor, Shah Rukh Khan, Govinda movies, at least one, where they have shot from helicopter, and cars were running on the lush green
Yeah.
scenery, picturesque scenery of Europe, and helicopters shaking and video cameras shaking like
Yes.
that, and their entire movie theater screen is like it's just
Yes.
bouncing. You know? But now what happened? Then they had the money, but before them, Hollywood started using gyroscope. So
Yes.
gyroscope is a uh, thing that we have in our mobile also. So gyroscope is basically keeping the camera steady, even if there are shakes and all this stuff. But then now it is not required. Now don't have to hire a helicopter, put a gyroscope there, and then put the camera in the gyroscope. You don't have to do all these sluggish things. What
You
you need
have
to do is
drone.
you just need to hire a professional drone
Yeah.
where you have a professional high resolution camera. So people who are right, who are the pilot of helicopters, they and the cinematographers who were specialists in those gyroscope photography and all the stuff, they were out of jobs. People who have taken this drone thing seriously and they said, boss, no, I have to train myself, otherwise I will be
Mhm.
out of job. So those people are still getting jobs, but others, they are just dime a dozen. They have no work.
Yes.
So similarly with photographers, with artists also, you know, when Vincent Newton, Daniel Smith, and all these brands were not available in India, people were all of them, even my teacher and everybody, they artist camel artist color. Well, that is the only available thing. Very hi-fi. Some artists they used to buy all these colors from somewhere, or some of the shops they used to directly import them. But now all these branded companies, all these big companies, they have their brand custodian in India. They have the colors, they have brushes, everything. So they have given us the opportunity to buy all this, for manufactured all these colors they have manufactured, all these high quality products they have manufactured. They are letting us use it. So people who are sticking to those camel colors, because I am selling my painting at a very low price. That's why I'm not buying it. But then that's not the point. The point is you need to improve yourself. Now people have money in India in general. Now more people are buying artwork.
Yeah.
That is, I'm guaranteeing you that the newer generation in their 30s and 40s are buying 200 times more artwork than our parental generation had actually bought
Yes.
it.
Yes. Definitely. I have like seen people my age going, like I stayed in Bangalore for quite a long time. So there's this place called Commercial Street. I saw a person coming with
Ah,
his artwork, and I saw a flock of young people gather, and within minutes everything was sold out. Within minutes. And these were just like not very huge frames, just a regular size frame, and everything was sold out. And I think that was very interesting for me to see, because
yeah.
I didn't see that young people are so much interested in buying artworks nowadays.
Now they are, but I haven't seen a single painting in my house. I have seen only one painting, which was an oil on board, which
Okay.
my parents bought. I don't know my father, my mother. My mother is no more. So my any of my either of my parents. They were in Kashiong. They lived in Kashiong, Kalimpong, and Darjeeling. These are like three districts. So they lived in Kashiong for some time. So during that time, as far as I remember from the stories of my parents, that they were uh, roaming, they were sauntering around the mall area of Darjeeling, and this painting had, made an impression on them. So they bought it. So that was some 42, 43 years back, 44 years back. That painting is, I don't know, that board is gone, it's all destroyed. But that is the only painting that my parents bought in their entire lifetime. They were not poor. My father was not poor. My father was not rich even, but he could buy paintings. I mean, if going to book fair in Calcutta or some other place,
Mhm.
he could buy. But you know, our Indian middle class from that era, they did not think about it. What they thought about it is only, some streamlined things. I have to go for a job, I have to save money for future, I have to put my kids in school, then I'll make a house, I'll buy a car, then I'll make a lot of investments, which will give me return when I retire. So
Yes.
that has changed. That thing has changed in India. So I think the troubles we had when we were trying to make it, even as a band, our band had a trouble. But now there are a lot of platforms. You can just
Yes. Yes.
go to these
Definitely.
platforms, ask them to shoot your music video. They will put it up, and you can earn money from there. You can so the major thing, the point I'm trying to make here is promotion. That you said, that how did you promote? There is numerous ways you can promote yourself. You can
Yeah.
make funny videos about you making art, and you will go viral. So it is not only that you will sell your art, but you can also sell what you do, how you
Yeah.
do it. So today's India. See, I'm only talking about India. I have not gone to any other country, and I don't even intend to go. I'm happy here.
Yeah.
I will go there. I'll earn money. I'll come back. So whatever is happening here, we have ample amount of opportunity. I have lived through the 90s. I have seen what happened in the 90s, and my seniors, my dadas and all this, they have lived through some 80s. So we have seen it. What happened? We had literally nothing. Nothing was there for us. Nobody helped us.
Yeah.
Nobody gave us a single dime to promote us. Nobody paid a wee bit of heed to our work. The only promotion possible was locally, unless and until you're a big star. Then you'll be promoted on where? Doordarshan, DD Metro, because most households even did not have
A
cable TV.
cable TV. Yes.
Cable,
Yes.
cable channel was not there. Most houses. So now, in terms of taking art as a career, I think India is at a much better state where an artist can easily survive. One, I mean, the conditions are there, of course. I mean, you need to educate yourself. You need to know what you want to do and do it really good. Unless until you do it good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Mediocrity in terms of your intention and in terms of your skill will not work.
Yeah.
So
A
that's
very fair
I
point
rest my
made.
case.
That's like a very fair point that you made, that yeah, mediocrity can't be there in terms of your work or in terms of even for yourself. I think that is something,
Hmm.
that is a very
That
bad
doesn't
thing that
work.
you can do to yourself. Yeah. And the way that you said that, yes, at your time, in your time, you do not have the platform. And today, yes, digitalization has given up that platform. And more or less, we covered like everything that like a person even like me would want to know, that I don't have friends who have yet pursued a career in this, but I have seen them struggle with it, that they want to do something else but doing something else. And even for my sister, I think that she absolutely loves languages, so she is like brilliant in French, and
Wow.
she
Oh,
wants to,
wow.
yeah, and
I'll put in a
she wants to.
I'll put in a recommendation. I'll put in a recommendation if she wants to learn. Where does she live?
She is currently in Ranchi. She's in class 10th, and Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, and she loves the language, and she has so made up her mind that okay, I want to have a career in this field, whatever it is, I'm going for it.
Dreaming
And
of it.
next month she has a exam, somewhere in Delhi, some exam, that level A, level B, that exam, the first time she's giving it.
BLS.
So
BLS.
yes, 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 that one. So I think even she's not well today, she's sleeping, else I would have actually called her. So I think that is a very interesting set that you said that, yeah, we need to educate ourselves, we need to go with the flow, and at the same time maintain our authenticity. And so, like, as we come to the end of this discussion, I would like to say that it has been a very enlightening discussion with you. We covered like every aspect of it, give and the personal insights. Those were really relatable and helpful. That yeah, at ground level, we every one of us face those things in whatever career paths we choose. But especially in these career paths, the unconventional ones, I think there the level goes 3, 4 times higher up, and it is a
True.
very I really feel so grateful to Rohit Bhaiya for like actually I was very initially I was like, okay, should I do, should I not do? But Rohit Bhaiya was like, Are, give it a try, no. And I'm so thankful to him that okay, I actually got to speak with you, and uh, it has been a
Pleasure
very enlightening
is all mine.
discussion. It is like, and it was amazing discussion. I think the people who joined, they must have gotten like really good insights. Like if they want to pursue their
Wonderful.
career in such paths, I think your insights have been wonderful, and I can't thank you enough for this. So yeah, thank you for joining, and like you said, that keep following your passions and never be afraid to
Absolutely.
color outside the lines. It's okay. You learn, you grow,
Absolutely.
and you
Failure is
just believe in
the
yourself.
failure is the most important thing. A
Yeah,
person who never failed, he had never tried. So you will fail. This is this is something that I tell all my students, all my workshop participants, wherever I go and I teach, I mentor people. I tell them that there's only one thing that you should never be afraid of: making mistakes. And if you do not make
yeah,
mistakes, then you're doing something wrong.
yeah, definitely. I That's like the most
Because
valuable life suggestion. There have been so many learnings in this 1 hour. So,
so
like,
make
thank you.
mistakes. Even if you think that you will not make mistakes, you will make mistakes.
Yeah,
But if you actually do not make any mistakes, then you will know that you are actually not trying. You are just dreaming about it.
yeah, absolutely. Like, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So,
My
thank you
pleasure. My
guys
pleasure.
for hearing Sir out and the beautiful suggestions that he had for us. So, yeah, this is Ankita from Right to Bed signing off. Thank you, sir. Hope to see you sometime
You too.
again.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good
Okay,
night.
sir.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Good night.